look, as a regular citizen, all right, you just, generally speaking, you mind your own business, you're doing your own thing, and the bad guy is planning to attack you, all right? So therefore, you are always at a disadvantage because you don't know what's going to happen. All right, today's video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why social distancing is your friend. And trust me, it's not what you think. All right, reason number 1, the more distance you have, the more time you have. All right, now you remember, in a self-defense kind of personal protection kind of thing where you have to protect yourself or your family, all right, you're a good guy. You're a good guy, good girl, whatever. You're a law-abiding citizen. You're not trying to get in any trouble. But you might have a bad guy over here who wants to do something to you. Maybe they just want to pound on you for some reason. All right, maybe they want to rob you. So you don't really know what's going to happen. But in their mind, they already know. They already made up their mind what they're going to do to you. So that means you're going to have to react off of them. All right. So the more distance you have, the more time you have. So remember that. So if you see potential threats when you're walking down the street, or you're in a store, or you're wherever, make sure you have distance between you and that threat, all right? If you see them attempting to maybe possibly do something, maybe they're coming at you, maybe they're grabbing something, if you have that time, or if you have that distance between you and them, it's going to give you more time to react, all right? So, number 2, remember this, you're always reacting and you're behind the power curve, all right? Now, even if you're practicing good situational observational awareness, you might come into a situation where a bad guy is looking to do something to you or to somebody in your family, whatever the reason, and you're doing a good job. You've been looking around, you're paying attention, and maybe this particular person's not giving off a vibe that they're going to do something, all right? So maybe you didn't pick them up on your radar because they didn't appear to be a threat. Maybe they don't look like a threat. Maybe they're not acting like a threat, all right? But they're watching you, all right? Not every bad guy is going to look a certain way. They're not going to act a certain way. Some of them are very cold and calculated, and they hide their actions, all right? And they might not give any kind of clues, all right? But what you're doing is you're reacting to what they're going to do to you, and it gives you a severe disadvantage and it's even worse when you don't have that distance between you and that potential threat, all right? Because the more distance, like I said, the more time you have to react, whatever it is. Maybe you're going to go to your gun. Maybe you put your hands up to block a punch and a strike back. All right. If you don't have that time, if you don't have that distance, you won't have that time to react properly. All right. So you're reacting to them and they're attacking you. So that means you're already at a disadvantage because you're going to have to take whatever split second for your brain to see whatever problem's coming at you. And then your brain's got to tell your body to move, all right? So you're already at a major disadvantage, all right? So that's another reason why distance, okay, social distancing is your friend, all right? So when you have to stand six feet between people in a line, don't look at it as something like, oh man, I don't want to do this. Look at it as like, okay, hey, I don't want to catch anything from that person, but hey, I'm also going to have a little bit more distancing between me and that person, all right? So, number 3, you want to put something between you and that threat, all right? So if you're on the street and you see some threats, all right, and you're walking and you're looking down ahead, all right, I always want to look as far down the street as possible. You always want to look far down the street as possible, all right? So if you see something down the street and you got to walk that direction, maybe cross the street and go the other way, all right? Or if there's no other choice and you got cars parked or trash cans or whatever, get on the opposite side of where the car's at. So put something in between you and that threat. So you got the cars or the trash cans between you and that potential bad guy, right? Because if they want to come to you, they're going to have to go through all that. So once again, all right, that gives you more time, right? It gives you more opportunity to react because that person's not going to be able to come directly at you because they got to go through this barrier, right? So make sure that you put something between you and that threat. Now, all right, I said 3 reasons, right? Well, I'm going to add one right off the fly, right? Reason number 4, all right? All right, look. Now, this isn't necessarily a reason, but this is a little tip, right? So you got to get to know your personal distance, all right, of somebody who's going to attack you physically. You got to know the distance between you and that person to where they can hit you, all right, either with a punch or with a kick, all right, or with the elbows. You got to understand the distancing, all right. So me, I understand distancing with somebody, generally a punching distance, all right, and I also understand the distance of a kick, right. So what I try to do is when I'm around anybody, I don't want to try to get close to anybody, especially in a threat situation. I want to try to get as far away as possible. But if I have no choice, maybe you're in a crowded area and there's not a lot of wiggle room and you see a threat, I at least at that time, I want to be far enough away from that person to where they can't punch me like a sneak punch where they just punch me right in the face, because I'm going to be far enough away from them to where that punches are going to hit me right off the bat. Now they might be able to step in, all right, but just a punch from a standing position, they won't be able to hit me, right? So I want to be cognizant of that, their arm distance, but I also want to be cognizant of their kick, all right? Now I have these big old crazy boots on out here because I wasn't going to show them because you're watching the camera, but look, you know, I know that if I want to kick, you know, I know my distance, all right, of my kick. And I also understand the distance that other people can kick. So I want to stay away from a potential threat far enough away that at minimum that they can't kick me, all right? Because if you're far enough away to where they can't kick you, then they're definitely not going to be able to punch you, all right? So let's do a little quick recap of the 4 reasons why social distancing is your friend. Is number 1, the more distance, the more time you have. Remember, the reaction time is pretty good, right? Reaction time is very important, all right? So the more distance you have, it's going to give you more time to react, either to react to it or to get away, right? Whatever. Number 2, remember, you're always reacting to something, so you're at a major disadvantage, all right? So when somebody's going to attack you, you don't know it because you're a good guy, right? Unless you pick up on a clue. But let's just say you don't pick up on a clue, you're a good guy, you're not planning on doing nothing, but those bad guys, they know what they're going to do, so they automatically know, so you're reacting off to them. So you're already at a severe disadvantage. Another reason why distance is important. Number 3, you want to put something between you and that potential threat or bad guy, right? Whether it be a car, trash cans, light poles, whatever. Put something between you and them, because that'll create a barrier or a block to where they'll have to take more time to get to you, all right? Which will give you more time to react to them or to get away, whatever. Prepare yourself. You got a weapon, whatever, all right? So put something between you and that potential threat. And then number 4, the add-on, all right? Know the distance between your punch length, your arm's length, and your leg's length, all right? That's just, you know, you get those down, you're good to go. Obviously, weapons and knives, it's a whole nother ball game, all right? Baseball bats, guns, whole nother ball game. We'll get into that in another video. All right, thanks again for taking your time out to watch this video. To the next one, please be safe, watch your 6, and remember, it's not being paranoid, it's being prepared.